I think that there are significant variations in strength of election processes in South Asia, though most of the region, I would argue, is actually quite strong in this regard. So if we imagine a continuum running from 0 to 10, with 0 being extremely weak electoral process and 10 being extremely strong, Afghanistan, of course, has to be 0. There are no elections because the Taliban don't do elections, so there's no electoral process. Then you move over to Pakistan and Bangladesh, where there have been serious rigging concerns and concerns about irregularities in recent elections. But then you have to move up pretty far on the continuum to get to much of the rest of the countries in the region. Nepal and Maldives have had relatively few rigging and irregularities concerns in their recent elections. Bhutan, which we haven't mentioned.
But Michael, if we could just go on to what we have talked about, which is India and Sri Lanka, it's a pity that we didn't have time to actually go into Maldives, which is also going to have an election.
Right.
But just in the interest.
Okay. Sorry. Well, okay. Yeah. So just some very quick points to sum up here. I think that the fact that much of the region has a relatively strong record on electoral processes masks a much weaker record on electoral principles. And this gets to what had been highlighted by one of the recent speakers. The issue of a lack of a level electoral playing field is so significant. Pakistan, Bangladesh, but also India and Maldives have all had this similar pattern of cracking down on opposition forces, often using justification of anti-corruption measures, but opposition members and supporters say it's politically motivated. Either way, multiple South Asian elections have unfolded with key opposition leaders in jail and with other crackdowns on opposition and their supporters. Also, one more point, strong electoral processes do not necessarily advance democracy. And I think here India is such a critical point. Relatively clean, smooth election processes have brought to and kept to power Narendra Modi. He's an electoral Democrat. He participates in elections, but what does India's record over his time in power suggest democracy? And clearly there have been some major concerns right there. So I think I probably should wrap up at that point.